at those numbers to see whether it's accurate. Congressman Gowdy put out a press release that one email contained a highly classified source that would reveal sources and methods of the CIA. He put that out. Within 3 days, the CIA said, no, that email was not classified. So Trey Gowdy said something publicly, very, very serious charge, that turned out to be false. So therefore, we should doubt when he says something like, is it true? I'm not saying it's false, but we have some reason to doubt if he did what he just did. Secondly, most importantly, is he criticizing the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee and the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, Republicans? He doesn't mention them when he says, look at all the new stuff we did. Do you mean that they missed all that? They worked for 2 years and published extensive reports, interviewed thousands of, looked at thousands of pages of testimony. He never mentions, Trey Gowdy never mentions that Republicans did this work before him. So he's got to say, I'm better than they are because I found something new and they missed it. Will he admit that today? I'm interested.
We're talking with Lanny Davis this morning. The phone lines are open, so start dialing in. We'll take your questions and your comments about Hillary Clinton's campaign and her testimony this morning, coming up in a little over an hour on the House side of the Capitol before the Select Committee on Benghazi. We'll get to your calls in a minute, but I want to show you and our viewers this from the Wall Street Journal, NBC latest poll, that Americans are not satisfied with the answers that they're getting from Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's response to questions on Benghazi attack, 44% not satisfied, 27% satisfied.
I'm surprised that there's as many satisfied and so few unsatisfied. This has been a one-way circus with only the voices of misinformation and partisan attacks. We all know now that Republicans have said, the House Majority Leader has said, this has all been about political attacks on Hillary Clinton to bring her numbers down, and those numbers are reflected in those polls. The facts that I just said are not disputable. Do the American people know that 7 committees and 2 of the major Republican committees in the House have already cleared Secretary Clinton of any involvement in those talking points, of actually knowledge ahead of time, no intelligence breakdown of the Benghazi tragedy? So those numbers are a reflection of a political attack, and I would say that we Democrats have inadequately responded. Now today, perhaps more Americans will hear the facts.
Trey Gowdy, others say that despite these other investigations, the families of the 4 dead Americans don't know the whole story yet. They don't know the facts, and that is why they are doing this investigation. Do those 4 families deserve to know what happened on September 11, 2012 in Benghazi?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the 4 families may not have read, as I have, the 1,000 pages of the Republican House Intelligence Committee, the Republican House Armed Services Committee. I'm going to keep repeating this because everyone forgets this. Today, I guarantee you, Trey Gowdy will say whatever he wants about what we've discovered new, but he won't say, I'm criticizing the chairman, the Republican chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. So the families should read those reports. And some things cannot be known. And it's a tragedy if it were my son or my family member, and the answer is we don't know why we weren't better prepared. We didn't have advance indication, according to the Armed Services Committee, through any of our intelligence sources, that this was going to happen. And there was a terrible breakdown that caused these deaths. And there is responsibility that Hillary Clinton's own Accountability Review Board said systemic failure, and she said, I accept your recommendations, I accept responsibility. So to the families, I can only say, I wish we had all the answers. According to the Republicans, the intelligence community, we don't have the answers. It was a tragedy.
Let's get to calls. Howie's in Pennsylvania, a Democrat. Howie, good morning to you. You're on the air with Lanny Davis. Go ahead.
Good morning, Lanny, from Equinunk, Pennsylvania.
Oh, my God. Camp Equinunk.
In the interest of full disclosure, I know Lanny before he ever met Hillary Rodham or Joe Biden. Anyway.
This is my summer camp in Equinunk,
Pennsylvania. Oh, my goodness. All right.
Lanny, can we get the Republicans to pay for this wild goose chase? They're squandering millions of dollars on all this nonsense. They're wasting our money. Tell the American public that this is a waste of money and we need not to pay for it. We need the Republican National Committee or some branch of the Republican Party to pay for this waste of time and this wild goose chase that we're going through with Hillary Rodham Clinton right now.
Thank you for, I'd sing the Equinunk alma mater on the air, but nobody would want to hear me do that. I wish that we could ask Republicans from their own campaign coffers to pay for this complete waste of time, unless Trey Gowdy is honest with the American people and he names the members of the House Intelligence and Armed Services Committee. I'm going to keep repeating this. Sorry, everyone. He has to name them by name and say, you did not do a good job, and my committee has found stuff that you didn't, and acknowledge that it was the Republicans who didn't do the good job, because they're the ones, including the Senate Intelligence Committee, Senator Saxby Chambliss, former senator from Georgia, no partisan, joined with Senator Dianne Feinstein in clearing the Obama and the State Department of having any manipulation or any exploitation of those talking points. So I do hope that Congressman Gowdy, who has set up secretly a PAC to help his campaign that has put an attack ad against Hillary Clinton, let's be transparent, Trey Gowdy, that was your PAC with your people putting an attack ad about Hillary Clinton. Let's pay for this out of your own money that you paid for, or at least help pay for, the advertisements that are being shown that are politically aimed at Hillary Clinton. And I think that the campaign coffers of the members of this committee, and there are 5 other members who need to answer the question, are you criticizing the Republicans who investigated this? Yes or no? And if the answer is we're not ready to answer, then you should pay for this.
Charles, Apple Valley, California, Republican.
Yes, I'd like to say how hypocritical it is to spend all this time investigating an incident when the nation of Libya is totally destroyed now. People are in chaos there. The organization is completely destroyed. People are being rushed off to Europe from Libya from the thing that we actually did. We destroyed a stable country.
And there's a headline in the paper yesterday that efforts to have a unity government fell apart yesterday in Libya.
Here's what we destroyed, and I certainly give you your right to your opinion, and I appreciate the fact you're a Republican and you use the word hypocritical about this Republican partisan Gowdy committee. But when you say we destroyed a stable government, we destroyed nothing. The people of Libya during Arab Spring revolted against a dictator named Gaddafi, who was personally responsible for exploding an airplane over Scotland, that a terrorist act that destroyed and killed hundreds of Americans. So if you ignore that it was the people of Libya who during the Arab Spring revolted against the dictator Gaddafi, who killed Americans in a famous terrorist incident involving a Pan Am flight over Scotland, then you are ignoring the facts, and you're letting, I think, a very tragic situation currently on the ground in Libya, I agree, obscure what really happened. And the facts are it was Gaddafi, dictator, people of Libya who revolted. And it was NATO, not the United States, NATO, that means European planes led by France and England, that conducted the air attacks to support the revolt in Libya against the dictator Gaddafi. The United States supported NATO. Everyone blames Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama, forgetting that it was NATO, Europe, especially England and France, that led the attacks to support the revolt against the dictator and terrorist Gaddafi.
Tom's next. In Kentucky, a Republican. Hi, Tom. You're on the air.
Excuse me. I'm a little bit nervous here. I got a comment here. I'm 66. I'm an insurance agent. And my license says basically that if I mislead or if I make somebody assume or twist something, then I can lose my insurance license. Now, I think I should be held just like everybody else, and Lenny, any politicians, whatever.